This is the Randi Rhodes Show on 960 KNEW and online at 960KNEW.com.
Hey there, Republicans. It's us. We're your old friends at, well, you know, Republican Rehab. Ooh, boy. We heard that you'd gone into complete shutdown. And worst, you're blaming it all on others. On the upside, though, we've seen hints of willingness to acknowledge past mistakes.
We've wasted 2 months focused on something that was never going to happen.
But you completely misunderstood the core principles of recovery. For instance, you need to allow yourself to admit fault. But you've taken that to mean that you should allow defaults. No, it's not the same. One involves taking responsibility. The other involves tanking my IRA. Knock it off. It's not like people aren't confronting you with the truth here. Hello?
Congratulations. You guys are funding the government for a whole 90 days. Now what?
To that point, I know we have the motto, one day at a time, but that should not be taken literally when applied to managing the nation's fiscal needs. You need to take a step back. Remember to acknowledge a higher power.
At every stage, my prayer to God is that His will be done, as it will be.
Okay, you know what? When you say as it will be, it comes off like as it better be. Sounds kind of like you're warning the higher power not to screw up, or they have to answer to you. Please, accept the things you cannot change. One of them is Obamacare. And give us a call. We're Republican Rehab. Don't worry, it's covered under the Affordable Care Act. You signed up, right? Right? Oh, come on.
I know you're frustrated by what you see in your nation's capital right now. But because it's easy to get lost in or give up on the political back and forth, I want you to remember this is not normal.
No.
Our government is closed for the first time in 17 years. A political party is risking default for the first time since the 1700s. This is not normal, and that's why we have to put a stop to it. Not only because it's dangerous, but because it saps everyone's faith in our extraordinary system of self-government. And that hurts us all.
Well, they don't want self-government. And, you know, in the New York Times today, or yesterday, actually, there was an article written by Bruce Bartlett. Now, Bruce Bartlett was a senior policy advisor to Ronald Reagan, and then again to H.W. Bush. And then he served on the, before that he was on the staff of, the conservative Jack Kemp. He also was part of Ron Paul's group, okay? And he wrote this piece yesterday trying to get people to realize that there are these radical insurgents inside the Republican Party who are truly into destroying the entire United States. He wrote, and I'm just going to read what he wrote because I'm not saying it. This is Bruce Bartlett, who served, Jack Kemp and Ronald Reagan and Ron Paul and George H.W. Bush. And he wrote, this week, according to the Treasury Department, it will exhaust its extraordinary measures to avoid hitting a hard debt ceiling. It's not known precisely the date at which it will lack the cash to pay interest on the national debt, but on the day that happens, the United States will be in default. Well, I disagree with him on that premise, but let's just keep going, okay? I think that if you default on any bill that you owe, if you default on a Social Security payment, if you default on a Medicaid payment, a Medicare payment, if you default on interest payments, if you default on military active duty pay while they're deployed in the middle of a freaking war, or their retirement accounts or their benefits, you are in default. You have not paid all your bills. It would be as if you said, well, I'm going to pay my mortgage, but I'm not going to pay my credit card bills and I'm not going to pay my car payment because I got to buy food. Your intentions may be to stay alive, but you're still in default of your bills.